Hey, have you ever wanted to make a Christmas tree out of pine? Well, on this episode, I'm going to take this old tree we got here and I'm going to refresh it and show you some different ways to do it. So follow us along as we show you how to turn some old scraps of wood into something that looks really cool. Stay tuned. All right, today we got Jacob and
Charlotte.
Today we're going to be making Christmas trees. So these are wooden Christmas trees made of several different materials. We got 2x3s, 1x4s, 4x4, and 4x6 is what I usually use. What I use for the base, so 4x6 and a 4x4 for the base. 1x4s. These are the cheapest I could find. I have some 1x5s left over that I'll use. Here's some old 2x3s that have been sitting up in my rafters. Dry, hard. These ones are brand new. I'll probably use these ones. I'll probably use the newer material because it'll nail up a little better. And the nails will go in a little better. So first I start with the 4x6s. I get the bases all cut. And then I'll cut the 2x3s into the section. So I'm going to make let's see, 2 4-footers, a 5-footer, and a 3-footer. And then I'll show you how I cut my 1x4s and then how I create the whole tree. So stay tuned. All right, for the bases, I'm gonna be cutting all of the 4x6s and the 4x4s at 12 inches exactly. All right, there's the 4x6s. Next is the 4x4s. I need to cut my 2 2x3s. One I'm cutting in half, so it'll be about 4 foot both sides, and then one I'm gonna cut at 3, and it'll be left with 5 foot because they're 8-foot boards. So here's the next thing. Okay, there we go. I got all that done. Now I need to go ahead and make. So I've got my 2 4-footers, my 3-foot, and my 5-footer right there. So I've got all my stuff. Cut a notch in the 4x4 in the 4x6s. So right here. So the 2x3 will fit. The 2x3 will fit just like right inside of there. And I'll put glue all the way around it and then nail it in there. Put a couple of screws in there. The reason I cut them 12 is so I can find the middle of it. And it's easier to find the middle because I know half of 12 is 6. All right, so here's 6. Using my speedy square. There we go. There's the center. And then a 2x3, a half of 2.5 is 1 1/4 inches. So what I do is I go 1 1/4 inches that way, and 1 1/4 inches this way. There we go. And there's 2.5. 1 1/4 to 1 1/4 inches. That's 2.5. Now what I'm going to do is clamp it, get it stable. I'm going to use my skill saw, set it at 1.5 inches, and then I'm going to just make a whole bunch of little cuts. So I'll set you up and you could see what that looks like. All right, next step. I'm gonna put the 2x3. Now this fits right inside of there. And I'll glue all the edges and then put a few nails in it. I'm gonna screw and she's good to go. Front side. So here's a 4x4 and I want to choose kind of the nicest end facing out, and then this is kind of the worst side in. And so the way that I do this side will touch this side. I'm going to put glue all along this face, and then I'm going to stick and put that thing down like that. To get it to stay until the glue dries, what I do is I put like, I use an 1/8 inch, what is it? An 1/8 inch Forstner bit. I just kind of go at an angle like that. Then I use these same screws, these kind of decking screws. Well, there we go. I got I've got 2 4-footers, a 5-footer, and a 3-footer. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get the 1x4s ready to go and nail them up and then make a tree. All right, now is the hard part. Now I gotta set it up so that the pieces will come out somewhat even and it'll look like this. And here's my model. I make it like that, and it gives me a general idea. So I've got to cut 1x4s at different lengths, and I don't want to have a huge amount of waste. Here's my last one. So basically subtracting by 4 every time. So this is a 5-foot section. My largest is 34. So then if I have a shorter one, then I use a lot shorter pieces of wood because I keep the same kind of width going up. So I'm gonna lay this out and then show you how you nail it up. When I was explaining it like I knew what I was talking about, I totally forgot that there was a difference in length between the two things. So what I did was right here, I was going down by 4. It was making sense. I was going down by 4 inches every time when I was cutting the length of them. But then I remembered that I was wrong and that's not 5 feet. That is less than 5 feet. So, little thinking. So, as I was doing it, and what I should have done was laid it out from the top. Should have laid it out from the top down and not the bottom up. So alright, now here's the trouble. There's the best part of this whole thing is I'm going to put this board, and I use this board as a guide, and I'm going to clamp it to one side, 2x2 underneath here so that I can waste, and then I'll just run it up and then cut it. One tree down, about 5 foot tall. Turned out really good, just a little bit of sanding. It's ready to go. hey, we got it finished finally. Got the trees done. Here they are. 4 trees, 5-footer, 2 4-footers, and a 3-footer. Mix some redwood in it. Looks really good. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Surf and Turf Family Adventures. I know we've sure enjoyed putting this all together, showing you a good way to use some pieces of wood you got laying around, or go to the store and make a big project out of it. But have a wonderful season, and we'll see you on the next one. Well, here I am on my last one, and for some reason, this piece of wood is thicker. So, I'm going to show you the way that I delicately just reduce the thickness of this 2x3 right here. So, this thick is just too thick, and when I put the 4x4 over the top of it, it just kind of rocks back and forth. So, let me show you how I do this. So, first thing you want to do is just get it kind of like where it needs to be, like that. Then you get a flattening device, and one of the best devices I've found is one of these. Perfect.